Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of BW Converting's Change for the Better podcast, where we spotlight industry leaders who are driving change and innovation. I'm your host for today, Gabrielle, and right now I am thrilled to be joined by Stefano Spinelli and Trevor Hughes, who bring a wealth of knowledge on how no-core technology has evolved, but also what makes their equipment unique. So, gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you.
Hello.
Thank you, Gabriel. Thanks for having
Absolutely.
us.
So to start us off, let's give our audience a little bit of your background. So let's just each briefly introduce yourselves and then also share your role in the development, but also the success of no-core technology. So let's go ahead and start with you, Stefano.
Yeah, hello, and I'm Stefano Spinelli, and product director for Barry Miller Converting. And at that time, when we started to develop this new technology, I was the R&D leader actually in PCMC in Lucca. We're talking about back in 2013 when we basically begin to work on this idea and begin to do some tests and trials and then that's basically where everything started.
And Trevor.
Hi, my name's Trevor Hughes. I'm part of the sales team in Europe, but I also have the honour of representing PCMC globally at open houses, trade shows. So I've been there from the very beginning, launching the product. So when we first did the launch in 2013 to the market, 2015, 2018 at 3 different consecutive open houses in Lucca, I've basically led the discussion. So it's been really nice to see how it's evolved and grown within the market. So no core is here to stay, and it is basically been evolved by PCMC during that time.
And let's talk a little bit about that journey of no-core, but also the invisible O technology in the market and just how it's maintained its leadership over the years.
So no-core basically is a standard toilet roll, but without the core board in the center. Still with the same size hole, still with the same product dimensions outside, the same paper, everything looks the same, except you don't have the brown core board in the middle. So when you look at an image of 2 products side by side, immediately the no core product looks cleaner, brighter. To me, it looks more luxurious and premium. And when you look at a traditional toilet roll with the core board in the middle, it looks in some ways inferior, which is not necessarily the case, but it is again about creating a brand, creating an image and a product that is easily identified. So there's some simple facts. When you look at it, it just has to be certain sizes, certain diameters, but essentially it's the same product but looks cleaner. We worked and teamed up with a global partner. When we first introduced this in 2013, people were coming to us and saying, we really like this technology, what can you do for us? And we said, actually, we want to partner with somebody and develop it together and give them exclusivity. So basically, for the first period of time, we had an exclusive partner and we worked together on making something that was relatively easy for PCMC to make on our technology, because we used the Forte rewinder and the winding profile and the technical advantages of the pivoting lower roll, the way we have a compound action rider roll, and the simple 3-roll nest and transfer system, our very clean transfer system, allowed us to make an easy product. Then we had to make it that it got to the supermarket and the customers in the correct way. So basically it was a development process over a period of time, and as it's was successful in one country, then it's rolled out across 5 different continents, multiple companies, and now we're in a position where it is really a stable of the marketplace.
And Stefano, I mean, as consumers demand more sustainable but also eco-friendly products, how is no-core technology, how have you found that positioning itself as a solution for the future when it comes to this?
Yeah, definitely. The no-core technology brings to the market new possibilities in terms of sustainability, and environmental sustainability, for many different reasons. First of all, of course, is just the basic fact that you have a roll without the waste, without the cardboard inside. Of course, the consumer doesn't care about the cardboard. Wants a very good toilet paper roll or towel. It doesn't need the cardboard inside. But so far, the cardboard was needed just for the operation of the machine, the rewinding machine, but it's not actually needed in the product. So that is a waste which is really eliminated. When you eliminate a waste, you already work in the right direction for environmental sustainability. Then, of course, you have many other things. When you build a toilet paper roll, you in the process, of course, all the machines in the process, they can last longer. For instance, the log saw that cuts the log and use basically less blade, is more sustainable. The blade itself stays sharp for a longer period of time. Then in terms of packaging even, a classic 4-roll of toilet paper roll, coreless, use less plastic compared to a normal product. It can be 30-40% less plastic in the wrap, for instance. So depending on the process, and if you look at the product, if you look at the machine, and from the production perspective or from the consumer perspective, there are many little things that comes in place that really support a lot the sustainability of a coreless roll.
And, there's also the environmental goals for businesses that are looking to meet them. So, Trevor, what are some of the key environmental benefits of no-core technology? How does it help businesses reduce waste, but also support green initiatives?
I think, to emphasize again what Stefano said, that when you actually make a toilet roll, you don't need the core board. We famously did a presentation at MIAC where we took a core board out, empty cores, and started throwing them at the audience to say, we don't actually need these. Our process doesn't need them. So there's not many things in life where you spend a lot of time, you make the core, you ship it to your factory, then you actually have to buy a machine to make it into a core, you apply a glue to that to join the plies together, then you only use it for the converting process. But once you get it at home, you throw that away. So it's really simple. The green footprint you get from this is one less machine in a factory, so less energy for that part of things. You've actually got a whole product that's not used, which is a core board. You have one less area where glue's used. And then the bigger picture is, for the type of product itself, it needs more paper. So it needs to be a denser product. So that's particularly apparent in markets like the UK, where you have some toilet rolls with basically very little paper on, and now the market has gone to double-length toilet rolls. That itself is what gives the support to the no-core product. So when you're actually making toilet rolls on the supermarket shelves, you take up less supermarket shelf space. When you're shipping the products to the supermarkets, there's less products needed in per truck because you're not shipping as much air, so you can reduce the number of transportation. Then in storage in a factory, you've got less storage space needed in the factory. So it just keeps going on. And simple parts which relate to the converting process, when you actually make a toilet roll, you see a product that in millimeters is maybe 110, 120 millimeters in length, but it's made out of paper that could be 2.65 meters or 2.85. You throw away the ends of the product as it's cleaned up in the process. Those get recycled, but when you're using pure virgin paper, which is what we're using on our machines, that can be repulped, and it's again a greener process. So every aspect of this lends itself to the green footprint.
And what would you say are some of probably the more innovative features of invisible or coreless winding technology that kind of sets you all apart from traditional core-based products?
Yeah, basically, our technology is pretty unique in the fact that we wanted to have a system that worked on the same rewinder. Like Trev said, our Forte signature rewinder. We didn't want to modify really the rewinder because it's really, really good. So we need to basically come out with a new mandrel, which basically work in replacing the cardboard core that usually is used in toilet paper. And but something that was very efficient, something that was transparent to the process in the machine. It's something that can be actually used and reused once and again, and for hundreds and times. And eventually, something that we arrive at end of cycle of this mandrel was, possible eventually to recycle, with very, very limited environmental impact. So we come out with this new type of basically tube mandrel with a special polymer that actually is transparent to the rewinder. So the rewinder can work with cardboard cores, traditional one, or with our special invisible ore mandrel. And for the machine, it's just exactly the same. Now, in this case, of course, the uniqueness of our technology is the fact that once we wound the new roll around this special mandrel, we need to extract it. So we have a special extractor with special gripping system that extract this tube out of this 2.7 meters long toilet paper roll, if you want, and is back recirculated back again to do another roll. So our machine basically works continuously recirculating these mandrels. And then again, when the kind comes, they get damaged or they get worn out, after days and days of operation, still they are completely recyclable. And the resin they use can be reused to do other mandrels. So that is the perfectly sustainable cycle of the system.
And switching from core to no core technology, specifically Invisible O, it seems like a pretty seamless process. So could you just walk us through how the transition is achieved so quickly, but also its benefit for manufacturers, what you see there?
Yeah, basically, if you are producing today with the normal cardboard core, you need to basically place an extractor inside the converting line, the traditional converting line, and for the everyday operation, it's just as easy as replacing the core, the cardboard core with the mandrel. Put it inside the machine, usually in the name like a 300, 400 of these special mandrels, and the machine begin to use them instead of the cardboard cores. So very, very easy. At that point, you don't need the core machine, you don't need all the process to maintain all this core, the glues, or the chemicals that are used for the cardboard cores, because you just have these resin mandrels. And that point, basically, we can say in 20 minutes, you can switch between cardboard core production to invisible O production. So in just 20 minutes, you can switch between the two. And the machine still can do both products, eventually to adjust to market needs.
And I think that the key as well there, Stefano, is that it's so easy to do. It's the Forte technology, which has been the benchmark of converting for some time. And the operators who run the machine operate it in exactly the same way. They don't have to learn anything new. It's really easy to do. The product it produces it in exactly the same way, so there's no fear. But at the end of the day, it is just a really simple process, but it's made possible by the Forte Rewinder. And the other part that's become really good is future proofing. So we have a unit in between the tail seal and the accumulator. And what customers have started to do now is say, I really believe in this product, but at the moment, I want to see the market push it. So we're leaving spaces in our lines to actually add the no core system at any time in the future. So it gives people a chance to react. So any one of our existing Forte Rewinders can be modified to do this. And so far, we've got 22 lines in production, actually in customers' factories, producing products from toilet rolls, kitchen towels, away from home products, mini jumbos. So a variety of different applications. So it's not just for bathroom tissue, not just for kitchen towel, it's for a variety of different products. And I think that's key. There's no fear for the market investing in our technology because it works.
Yeah. And as a follow-up to that, oh, sorry, go ahead, Stefano.
No, I just say, you're right. And to further resonate on that, it's transparent to the operator. So basically can use the machine as it's always been used, in the years. But also it's transparent to the consumer. You buy this roll at the supermarket and you just use it, with your dispenser, with your pin and roll that you have at home in the toilet. That's perfectly fine. You don't need to buy special adapters or anything special. You just use it, and it's just brilliant.
Yeah, let's talk on the client end because, Trevor, how long have you been supplying no-core technology? And could you share maybe any success stories from clients or maybe industries where the technology has really taken off?
Yeah, I think the key is it was introduced 2013 as a concept. 2015, we started to partner with a multinational company, and the success was really evident straight away. Believe it or not, the no-core toilet roll was voted Product of the Year 3 times in France. So because it was so successful in France, it's then been introduced into other countries around the world. Most recent was the UK, and again, the kitchen towel version was noted as one of the best products on the market as well. So we've got it in multiple different countries around the world, 5 different continents. But I think the fact that it's repeat orders, and then most customers come to me and say, Trevor, I love this product on the market. What do I need to do to actually progress with it? And as I said to you, it's a 2-stage process. It is selling in the houses. The product is working well. And again, it's at the moment, it's not a mass-produced product because it is quite niche. But as we become greener and more educated, and I think that's the key word here, educated as to the fact that you don't need cardboard, it's been really, really successful. So I know there's more projects going through our factory, which we can't talk about, but it will be appearing in more and more places because we're the people who innovated this technology, and there is a lot of trust with our customers, and the end user is now understanding the concept of it. And I think that's key.
Well, are there any Are there any particular industries or maybe markets that are seeing the fastest adoption of no-core solutions, of no-core technology, and just what do you think has been driving their enthusiasm?
Yeah, I think for that one, again, the UK is quite a varied market because it has a lot of independent companies, small family companies, it has many of the multinationals. And so when products are started to appear on the shelf, we're seeing a great drive in the UK because we have a lot of rules relating to plastics, waste, energy, and therefore we're driving things very, very quickly there. France, as I say, was the first to really push it, and Germany. But it's something that I use this expression that it is a no-brainer. You don't actually have to change your habits of purchasing machines. You don't actually have to change your habits of use. It does exactly the same as the products did 10 years ago, but in a greener way. And so it tends to be the greener countries that are adapting to it, and those with their, not with their eyes open, but are able to adapt to change.
And Stefano, I mean, what are some of the biggest challenges that you might have had or that you've faced so far and kind of promoting no-core solutions? Have there been any, and if at all, like, I mean, how have you overcome them?
Yeah, I think in some, of course, of countries of the world, one of the challenges that we experience is the fact that there were previously introduced coreless rolls in the market. And done, of course, with the different technologies, different type of machines, and honestly, these products were not so great. So, of course, there are some of our customers that have still a little bit of bitter taste, in the mouth. So when you talk about coreless, say, "Oh, is coreless just like the 10 years ago thing?" Say, "No, it's something different." And then, of course, you need to explain, so a little bit more step-to-step process, to arrive. To show them what the machine can do, to show the products, even the market shelf. And so now it's easier. But this definitely has been a little bit of, difficulties for us to go through, because of this previous experience with products were actually not at the level they should be. So, but I think now it's expanding. As Trevor said, Europe, France, Germany, UK. I think is going very well. Most likely we're expanding also in South America. We already have a machine also in North America. The point is that the invisible technology really gives an advantage to the big brands, to the big guys, because it's an opportunity for differentiation, to have the sustainability, in their agenda. but also helps actually the little guy or the private label, so the supermarkets, because actually they can differentiate and they cannot just go to war, let's say, with the pricing, and just the last cents of, of pounds of dollars. And but the invisible law can give you really the hedge with sustainability and actually providing even more efficient and less cost of production. So that is a really good mix, reducing the cost, having more value to the end user, reducing the waste. So that's something that appeals to the big brands, to the private label, to the big guys, and to the small guys.
Yeah, and as a follow-up to that, Trevor, I mean, what kind of feedback have you received from customers who switched to no core? I mean, how has that impacted their business?
In a positive way. The key I always say is repeat orders. So when there's a company saying, I don't want to be the first to do this, and they try and they get success, then they then launched it in multiple different countries. But the other part that we noticed, we did a few internet studies and looking at people's spending habits and everything else. And what we found is where it was first introduced, say, into France and Germany, people would go on holiday into those places, and then they would like the product so much, they would actually buy it through the internet and have it sent to their homes elsewhere in Europe. We found that amazing, that someone would actually go out and buy toilet rolls for use at home from another country. But it was a whole ethics of it. And again, the users are understanding that they're not losing anything by this, and the consumers are finding it's just a change. So if you're used to something with very small amount of paper on, but you're now going to something with a larger amount of paper on, then they've just got to understand their purchasing habits change. But once they've done that, they don't go back.
And are there any developments or new things coming with new no-core technology that we can expect in the coming years, especially in the Invisible O product line?
I think that the way... Yeah. I'll answer that again so you can cut that bit out. Yeah. Okay, so the way we actually do this is we started with bathroom tissue, then we went to kitchen towel. Now the need is for away from home products, and what that is larger diameter products, so 200 millimeter diameter products. It's being looked at center pool, so for an industrial toilets, for hospitals, for hotels. We're just expanding where it can be used and the types of products. And at the moment, we haven't found really any limit as to what we can do with it. It's just to adjust the density of the products. So the way we see it is growth across all industries. And I'm particularly seeing that in the UK. A lot of people are asking for use of the no-core technology in our away from home portfolio.
Yeah, on top of that, I would say that in the meantime, of course, switching from toilet paper to kitchen towel, of course, there is the need for higher cycle rate. And that's why, we developed already, and we are still developing even faster version of high cycle rate, high speed invisible O extractors in order to support, the kitchen towel market. Also, we find out that in some specific markets in the world, we still need to have a lower density coreless product. And of course, we are working in further improving both the extractor and the rewinder technology. So that's why we have Forte. Now we also have Paragon rewinder, which is perfectly dedicated to lower density invisible O products, so that we are ready for the global marketing of invisible O.
Well, we're starting to near the end of the podcast here. So as we come to the conclusion, I want to throw it both back to you. I mean, how do you envision the future of tissue production just evolving with this coreless approach? How do you see that?
Okay, so when we actually see the tissue production evolving over time, what we've noticed is, and I stress this again, you don't have to change the types of machines you buy. You still buy the regular converting line from PCMC. So whether you're buying a Forte or, as Stefano says, Paragon, both those technologies lend themselves to no core. We're also looking at it on other technologies. So what we're seeing is you're not restricting yourself by investing with our technology, because it allows you to adapt to any time going forward to do conventional products today or no core products in the future.
And I mean, we know that in terms of, we talk about lower density products for some market. We also know that for sustainability, sometimes virgin fiber is not the right choice. Sometimes recycled fiber, for the paper is the right choice. There is a lot of fuss in the industry, of course, talking about bamboo toilet paper, which, of course, because using plant-based fiber is, more sustainable for some perspective. And Invisible O is ready also for that. So whatever you use just straw, wheat straw, fibers, or you use eucalyptus, or use bamboo-based fiber, Invisible O can support also, this transition to plant-based technology in the paper.
All right. Well, that wraps up our podcast for today. So thank you so much, Stefano and Trevor, for just sharing your insights into no-core technology and how it's changing the landscape of sustainable packaging. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Thank you, Gabriel.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of course. And as always, if you'd like to learn more, please visit bwconverting.com and look for this podcast wherever it is you get your podcasts at. I've been your host, Gabrielle. Thanks for tuning in.